not really, but this is the morning ritual for guitar growth, and I certainly am glad that you are here this morning. And I don't know if you are having a difficult time hearing me this morning or not, but it certainly would be appreciated if you give me any feedback so that we can continue to work to make this the best morning ritual for guitar growth that we can make it. Okay, so thank you so much for being here, and thank you so much for being part of this wonderful program. So that being said, let's go ahead and welcome Brother Kevin Haas. Kevin, good morning. How are you today? So we're just getting going and making a really easy, simple go of it today. Just starting to get, wanted to just dial in a new space, and working with a new guitar, not a new guitar, but it's a guitar that's not, not totally, it's a little foreign to me, and I could use more seat time with this particular guitar, and we'll do that today. And the morning ritual for me isn't really about, it shouldn't be for me about showtime. It feels to me sometimes like I'm working on, just so you know, full disclosure, it feels a little bit to me like we're working on party time, and that party time aesthetic is, it's great, and it helps certainly to, bring in new people and new viewers and new loyal listeners, or whatever you want to call it, but that's not really what I have in mind for this. So I'm going to continue to work. I know we're 5 months, yesterday we're 5 months into this. We're approaching show number 90. This may be number 90 today. The intention isn't to have this be like a, some high speed thing. So just so you know, that's kind of where I'm at. And I wanted to keep it sort of authentic and true to what I normally would do if I was just doing this by myself. There would be a lot less talking and a lot more focusing on things like, is my pick right? Is my pick correct? Is it going to, did I just get it out of the bag? Is it the Jazz 2, but they're plastic stamped, and they always, almost every pick I've ever purchased, the cheap picks, are, they have little plastic stamps around the edges. So we could always improve those by just taking one of those nail files you find in that health and beauty section at your local market, and just start filing away. Just give it a good sort of once around here with a, this is a finishing board right here, so we're not looking to remove material really other than any leftover imperfections that come from the manufacturing process. Now that I've done that, I'm going to scrape the edges too. I'm just going to scrape the front and the back down, and this could take, this could be a 15-minute process if you wanted to take your time and carefully do it and enjoy what it is you're doing. But the picks almost always, I've found, need care. The only ones I've ever had, I have a volcanic glass pick that we'll get out and take a look at that one of these days. And Miss Elisa, how you doing? Good morning. Oh, good morning, Kevin. Good morning, Mark. Good morning. You're doing great. Good morning, crew. Robbie, good morning. Sky, good morning. My fingers are not working well this morning. They are not sharp. We'll sharpen them up. Let's sharpen them up. So here's what I'm doing with the pick. Just getting this buffed. Ooh, that's a nice pick right there now. That's a usable instrument now. So let's go ahead and take it. Let's take off. Starting with the A string. Here's the A. And we're working on audio. One of the things that I really am working on is working to keep this super easy and super lightweight for me to get here. Otherwise, I lose motivation to stream this, right? So it's got to be super easy and super lightweight for me, and we'll figure it out. We'll get working on that. But if there's an issue with sound, I want you to know that I'm working on working toward getting better sound for us. Okay, here we go. Starting with the A string, 60 beats per minute. 1 and a 2, D, 4. Here's your A, and here's the D string, and here's the G, here's the B, So working on tone here a little bit. Just checking to see the guitar is in tune for our work together this morning. Yeah, a little slow moving today. Lisa, good morning. Bernie, good morning. Yeah. All right, Lisa. Mr. Tortorello, good morning to you. Sky, check out your comment. Yep, cool. Bernie, and Leonardo Morales, good morning. Okay, let's get started. We'll start with the fingers 3 and 4 stretch, and 1 E and a 2 E and a, you know what to do, E and a. So in case you haven't been here before, if you are new here, I would like to take a brief moment to welcome you to the morning ritual for guitar growth. And this is decidedly a session about growing with the guitar as an extension of your own person. Specifically designed for the aspiring guitar practitioner, the pro guitar practitioner, the beginner guitar practitioner. This is for everybody. Whether you choose to stick around is up to you, but you're more than welcome to visit and whenever you like. It's free. I'm here every weekday morning for the entire year of 2025. I know, I am. So breathing in, breathing out, and using fingers 3 and 4 on 10 and 12. We'll be using 4 attacks per beat this morning. 1 E and a 2, and here we go. I have a feeling this is going to be a decent session today. This is Friday. It's Friday, the first week of May 2025. So as you know, we are moving right along, being observant of the metronome, perpetual students of the metronome. Good morning. Glad to have you here, Leonardo. Good. All right, we've overcome the first obstacle. So let's take a look at the second obstacle. On frets 10 and 12, frets fingers 2 and 3, the 2 middle fingers, and 1, E and a 2. You know what to do. Yes, you do. Move fingers down, up. 2 and 3, skipping a fret. Fingers, let's see, thumb and index finger either working the string set on the fret hand or holding on to the pick. Now, if you're a fingerstyle guitar player, you could also use the index and middle fingers on your fret hand or picking hand to take that line for a whack. What we're doing is we're running some neck. We're running the neck. So this is what I would do if I'm working on a fingerstyle piece or just beefing up for a fingerstyle gig. Super important to breathe. Fingers 1 and 2, 10 and 12, same thing. And I'm going to turn my guitar down because I'm having a little bit of difficulty hearing the metronome. And we want to prioritize the metronome. 1 E and 2, and fingers 1 and 2, 10 and 12. And we'll start with finger rolls as well, if you want. Thanks, Kevin, for the near miss. Hey, we've got a guitar for everyone here. Good morning. Good to see everybody. Oh yeah, that's right, Bernie. It feels like that. We had one of those days this week. It's been a little light on the sleep. Just a really busy week, you know. And anytime I get 4 hours of sleep, it's a challenge. It's a real challenge for me. It's a real pig scramble. Good morning, Dan. Happy to have you here with us this morning. All right. So you got that "Oh Brother, Where Art Thou" reference, huh? Very nice. Good catch, man. So, thanks for noting that. I appreciate it. 1 E and a 2, fingers 2 and 4 on 9 and 12. And you know this one. 1 E and a 2, T E and a go. Yeah, I'm feeling that same thing today. And I'm going to go ahead and set an intention, even though I've already begun. It's never too late to set the intention for the session. It could be for you personally. It should be for you personally, and it should always be something positive. That's my recommendation, obviously. And then, you know, maybe it's about something you're doing today or right now. Maybe it's something that you're doing this week. Something about the guitar. And as we breathe through this intention setting, we'll go ahead and just sort of be thankful that we're here, that, you know, that we have the time to spend with ourselves and be filled with gratitude. So 1 E and a 2, T E and a 4. I have another day to enjoy the guitar to start all over again. Some palm muting too. Let's see what we can do with palm muting here. Good. 1 and 4 on fret 7 and 12, and we're starting to cook. We're cooking with fire now. Let's see what we can do. Let's see what we got here. Ready? A 1 E and a 2 and a T E and a 4 E and a what are we doing here? Let's do 7 and 12. You could use hammer-ons and pull-offs, but I'm going to go ahead and pick down, up, and alternate pick these, okay? 1 E and 2, and you know what to do. Hey Lex, what's going on? Good morning, Lex G. Stung on the nose twice this year. Do any of you ever wonder about like your wrist angles for this? So it's a good idea to just sort of keep the guitar moving, you know, keep it in kind of moving around in different directions. That will certainly help us to remain healthy and safe and protected from workplace injury. And I know it sounds really weird to hear, you know, workplace injury equated with the the guitar practitioner, the life of the guitar practitioner, but it's reality. So we'll go ahead and just mix it up a little bit here, and let's see what we got. And all right. Oh, you know what we should do? Let's go ahead and do the 2, 3, and 4 exercises with the finger skips, the fret skips. So let's get right away. Let's just keep burning. Let's burn those calories down. 1 E and a 2 E and a, and what we're doing is frets 9, 11, and 13. We're just going to, you know, work on stretching the fingers out with 1 E and a 2, T E and a 4, and a 9, 11, and 13, and using fingers 2, 3, and 4. And ready and go. And we'll start with, we'll probably use 16th note grid here, 60 beats per minute. So 1 E and a 2, and you know what to do. morning, Sheila. Glad to have you here. Hopefully, if you're here, you have a guitar in hand, and you're more than welcome to join us in this morning ritual for guitar growth, where we work, just working on getting the guitar skills sort of managed and curated to the point at which we can actually play whatever we want to play. Let's turn this gain down a little bit. That's just getting a little bit too much for me. So let's see what this does. That might be a little better. So 1E and 2, and you can see the amp that's going on up here. This is the sort of like the studio version of the Logic Pro version of the Boogie amps, you know. So 1E and 2, TE and 4, and we're going fingers 1 and 2 and 3, and we're skipping over 10 and 12. Another very fine finger stretch exercise. 1E and 2, you know what to do. And it's okay to do this with, you know, hammer-ons and pull-offs if you like. It's a whole different game if we wanted to start doing that. But I'm going to focus on just alternate strokes here. Ooh, I'm feeling the burn. That's for sure. Breath in and breath out helps us to identify where we might be holding tension in our body, and we can release that. So let's go ahead and release that when we can, when we're aware of it. But now is definitely time for a stretch for me. So let's pull this a little closer and see what we can do for in the world of stretching. I get these. Hey Maxie, good morning. Good morning. Good morning. So here's the straight elbow and the downward haul here. 15 seconds. 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, and 4, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, it does sound dead. Like the computer speakers don't translate over the internet like the like an amp does it? You know, I'm noticing that too. We'll have to work that out. And I appreciate all of that. Any feedback that you have for that. Thanks, Marco. That's cool that you decided to retract it too, because we leave the live chat intact, and all of those things are definitely welcome. But I could understand why one might choose to retract it. But now I've made it clear, and we're talking about it. So tone is super important to many of us here in the live chat. And it's likely, so a friend of mine developed speakers, and I thought I'd use this as a moment to talk about this. You know, the speakers from all of these companies that you know, Apogee or whatever. So he develops speaker cones, and he suspends the cone instead of the paper cone suspending the back of the, you know, the cone in the magnet. He uses magnetic fluid to suspend the cone so that it's a little bit more freeing, and it's a wonderful concept. And he's super super successful with it. So we've done some festival work, and he shows up, and because he's that mind. He's been on the cover of like Wired magazine and stuff. And so he shows up and he says, you know, Jason, why do people not, you know, sometimes they'll go home from a concert and they'll be like, yeah, I didn't really enjoy it. You know, it wasn't really a great night. It wasn't one of those great evenings, and they don't really understand. They can't put their finger on why they don't enjoy they didn't enjoy the live experience. And he said, I have an answer for you. The answer is something was off with the sound, right? So if something was off, the audience might not ever perceive that that's the problem. But if we're meant, especially with us, since we're tone aficionados, we care about what we hear and what we absorb, you know, what we put into our temples. So it's something that we definitely want to consider moving forward. Want it all? Yeah, I know, I saw that. So roll the tone down a little bit and then switch it to the humbucker. So I have a phase switch here too, so we can actually switch to single coils, and then the two outers, and then just the one, and then the two outers, and then just the one. And then we've got obviously the humbuckers here. These are Seymour Duncans, and then the bridge pickup humbucker, and then the two humbuckers. But I think it's fair to say that there's a little more meat on the plate with the full humbucker use. So let's go ahead and work on 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll start by stretching the fourth finger. 1 E and a 2. Oh, actually we'll just do 1, 2, 3, 4. I guess it wouldn't hurt to just, we've got so much to cover today, so why don't we just start with the stretch forefinger, okay? 1 E and a 2, and you know what to do. Fingers 1, 2, 3, and then stretch 4 to 13. 9, 10, 11, and 13. Here we go. Here we go. Is this any better? Hey, Ian Glenn, good morning. I am Glenn. Got it. Jeffrey Boyle, good morning. And good sound engineers are hard to come by. Yeah, there's like one, you know, in maybe 100-mile radius of me. Super humble guy, but he's, you know, no offense to anyone here, but he's probably the least whiny musician I've ever met. And I include him as a musician because his ears are just so big and so talented. And if you've got him on your gig, he's the extra band member that you're going to wish you had all the time. And then, you know, there are plenty of us who do sound, and some of us who really enjoy perfecting our craft. And he's just done it for, you know, a long time. And super gifted and super talented at what he does. But he doesn't take any grief, you know. He's one of those who doesn't, he's loaded with plenty of executive function skills. So let's take a look at dropping that kickstand. Let's put the kickstand down. We'll jump back to frets 8, 10, 11, and 12. 1 E and a 2, T E and a 4, and 1. If you're just tuning in, I would like to take a moment to personally invite you to return. Thank you for sticking around and visiting. This is the morning ritual for guitar growth. And the new space is something that takes me a little bit of time to adjust with, so I certainly appreciate your patience. But I think as we dial it in, we'll remain content and joyful. And full of good breath. Full of good words, full of good news. I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. just working out, getting the guitar, acclimatizing, going through an acclimate, just getting adjusted to being with the guitar like it's the first time I've, starting over every day. Skipping through the fields of grass, following the narrow path, up over the hill to find that lone oak tree in the wide, wide field. And then where you're having lunch. So it's a lot of this for me is super simple. It's about respecting and observing one note at a time. Let's go ahead and see what happens when we introduce a string skip or fret skip, a finger stretch between fingers 2 and 3. We'll use 1, 2, 3, 4, and use 9, 10, 11, 9, 10, 12, and 13. Oh, just got a 7-string Schecter and it rips. I bet it does, man. That's a ripper indeed. Marco, I like the idea of the unplugged electric. That way you get a really good feel. You get a good feel for the instrument itself. Sometimes you'll use like an instrument that's coated in something other than nitrocellulose, and it's like you realize, oh yeah, even though it's an electric guitar, it still has acoustic principle, acoustic value. I always really loved my Schecter because the whole guitar is so tight. Acoustically, the electric guitar, it's the standard, it's the traditional Strat out of the old California custom shop, the Schecter custom shop. And I'll tell you what, I have not met a Strat that I like better than it. And I've had a lot of Strats, I don't know if I've met a guitar that I like better than it. I don't know if I ever will. Well, congratulations on that Schecter. Wonderful, wonderful purchase, The most important part of that is taking the time to get to know the strengths and the weaknesses of the instrument itself, and have that become transparent in the way that we play along with the instrument and learn how to speak the same language of the instrument. It's not that I want to be, all, pulling at the heartstrings or just going over the top crazy with it, but the guitar is something that we can really develop a significant relationship with. And it could be a single guitar. We have a different relationship with each guitar. But the guitar in general, 6-string, 8-string, 7-string, ultimately becomes an extension of our ability to communicate at a higher frequency range, higher thought process. You know, just one approach. All right, let's go ahead and do one of these things. Donna's super cool cat. He might be working on a book. Wouldn't surprise me. Oh, I missed something. Did I miss something? Sorry, I missed it, guys. Anyone heard from Raul? Oh, you know, I've seen Raul's channel. I just saw some of his his YouTube shorts, and he's got a pile of shorts going on. He's like clubbing, and you ought to check it out. He's really got a ton of like a ton of exercises on his channel, and I would encourage you to check out what he's got going on. Raul, I don't have a link to his channel, but he's definitely a good and highly valued regular here. So some of us, when we go, we leave a void that is unfillable, right? I'm sure he'll be back. He's communicated that he'll be back. But I've received email communications from him about that. Or Facebook, you know, not Facebook, but some comments that he's assuring that he's not gone, but just otherwise engaged. Mark, good morning. Good morning. Have a super Friday. Happy Friday to you, friend. So, onesie and twosie, and putting on my diagonal pattern. I gotta remember to keep my tailbone intact, and then my back sort of like straight, and there's a tether coming from the top of my head to the ceiling, like pulling me up. And I remember if I start to slouch, it's okay to slouch. A lot of guitar players do slouch. A lot of us do slouch. But if you're going to put a lot of attention on your instrument, you know, sooner than later, good posture becomes part of the conversation. And we may as well include that in the warm-up process. Today, I'd like to finish up. We've been exploring pentatonicism versus diatonicism, and pentatonic systems are not they're not inclusive of the 4 and the 7. When you remove the tension from the system, from a scalar system, and this is just basic facts, when you remove the tension or the dissonance from a scalar system, we are left with consonance, or, you know, harmonious experience. We do not feel the need to resolve from the tension that we have created with those. We don't need to dissolve or resolve from a tense moment in the scale system to a more comfy moment in the scale system. And to me, that means a lot, right? So if I know how to treat, if I know how to operate, let's say in a utopia, or like a musical utopia, where I can play any of the notes at any moment in a pentatonic system and have it be consonant and harmonious. If I can navigate those systems successfully, those are now like road maps that I can use to navigate larger and more complex systems. Even when there's like systemic failure, I know where the safe places to go might be. For example, one place to go might be the root note. So let's say we're in the key of C. Hey Alex, good morning. When tapping, what pickup position should you use? I-O. So off to work I go. So it's a good idea to be able to play any melody that you can. So that's another thing I really enjoy about pentatonicism, because I can sing pentatonicism. I don't have those half steps that I have to tune. So everything I play, I should theoretically know how to say or sing or sing. So C. And this is where it gets super. It's either super interesting, you know, the dial's way over here for you, or the dial's like, I'm out of here. This is super like, I'm not interested. This is like going to be like a separator here, I think, a little bit for some of us. But I need to understand this note as C. It's a root note. So I will call it 1. I will also call it Do. I will call this Re or D, or I will call it the tonic, super tonic, because it's above the tonic, median, subdominant, or this submedian maybe, subdominant, dominant, median, submedian, and then leading tone, or what is it? I think it's leading tone, and then back to Do again. But I also want to know this as a syllable to sing. Hey Zach, so I appreciate that, man. It's an Ibanez, it's a 420. I have two guitars. I have a Taylor 420 and I have an Ibanez 420. I'm not sure what prompts any of that stuff, but I know they're super cool guitars, and I certainly appreciate the you enjoying that. I certainly do. So we're going to start singing some things today, and it's going to work for some of us and not for others. So Do, and the solfege, as you know, was created so we can all learn how to sing correctly, right? We don't sing, let's play find the note. We're singing solidly with our diaphragms, our stomachs tight, and then we have the diaphragm pushing the air up out into our lungs and over our larynx and out. And then we have some sound coming through the cheekbones. We can work on doing that. A little vocal coaching later, but singing the syllables, the syllabic approach to this is going to give us the syllables that we need to know how to sing anyway. It will give us Do, the round Do, Re, fa, and the T in the pentatonic system. So we go directly up to sol, S-O-L, S-O-L. This dominant means S-O-L to us. Sol, and then la, la, then do, back to do. So you can also sing these notes, and then you can go on to greatness in your own right. In your own world of music, you can approach whatever it is you want. If you can sing the notes, you can do whatever you want. And that's the end. Okay, so do you see where I'm going with this? I feel obligated to take charge of the melody that I play, because for so often, for so long, these, we're considered sort of like mindless guitar players, especially if we're rock guitar players. So all that guitar player does is shred exercises, and there's nothing musical about that guitar player. There's nothing going on there that I really care about. And you can hear it, it's just mindless notes. If we take a moment to breathe and let some time pass, and observe the great works of God's creation, how can we not be filled with limitless melody? So here's the example, and I'm just going to use one position, the C major pentatonic scale on position number 2, and I'm not moving away from it. I could spend 15, 30, an hour here and then not get bored. And letting notes run long. There you go. And occasionally we'll feel like, so if we're like, all right, so how you maintain freedom, there's a constant state. We're always in a constant state of awareness. And as soon as that awareness is gone, as soon as that awareness deteriorates or my eyes glaze over, I'm no longer sort of like representative of the moment. And I know this isn't really, this conversation might not be for everyone, but I know it's for some. If it's for me, then I know it's for some. So we've been talking about moving okay, so it's an Ibanez tremolo, but it's a licensed Floyd Rose. And it's not the Edge tremolo. Like, it would be really cool if this was the Ibanez Edge tremolo, because this little tail plate here would actually sit lower and then it wouldn't get in the way of your palm. Do you know what I mean? So this is sort of like a design flaw in my mind, because I want full access to the guitar surface of the guitar for my picking hand. That it only makes sense. But it's a little bit of a trade-off, and it's an additional expense. You know, it's a tier up in the marketing range. Do you know what I mean? So it's just the way they get you. But that's okay, and it's worth, if it makes the player happy, it's worth whatever expense, right? If we can afford to keep the lights on and we're not injuring ourselves, you know, or others, you know, more especially the injury part, if we're not taking injury, I would say if you can afford to get the edge tremolo, then I would prefer that. I just got this guitar. Someone was having a new friend, an acquaintance, was having a challenging Christmas, and he needed some money, and I was in a position to, you know, I was just looking for a guitar, maybe, and maybe not, but in a position to pick it up and give it a home. So that's where this came from, and it's a fun guitar to play. Clay, good morning. Good morning. Hey, Brother Hawk. Hey, LB's Pocket. Yeah, sorry to miss you. Dark Knight Returns. Good morning. Good morning, Brother Hawk. Good morning. Just ordered a Floyd Rose. Yeah, good for you. Stripped an intonation screw on the old bridge. Yep, I know that feeling. Just got 2 strings. I mean, those trims are pretty awesome. I had an edge on my old RG back in the day. Oh yeah, yeah, good for you, man. That's where it's at. But it's fun to be able to move the entire string set in unison, right? Really cool stuff. So let's get back to singing as we play, or saying as we play. So we're doing a little bit more than just singing the do, re, mi, fa, do, re, mi, sol, la, do, re, mi, sol, la, do. We actually were transitioning, we're moving between positions, right? So my goal is obviously to play, you know, to have some technical facility, but it's more important for me to be observant of the melodic possibility, the melodic potential. And some could relate to it, you know, others will probably not relate as well to it. But let's just turn the gain up a little bit on the amp and give it a little bit of a boost here. So I'm thinking about moving. Practicing pentatonicism is really great if you listen to Gregorian chant, if you let the records play and you just play along with the recording. That's a really amazing experience, right? So you can start by finding that there is a sizable amount of power in just playing a well-articulated melody. And then trying to tune, you can really learn a lot about the trembar playing like this, and maybe that's why I ended up grabbing this guitar today. But really, it's just to kind of further. just to further add, just stepping out into the unknown and slipping into another position with this, the next mode of pentatonic, so to speak. So here's the first one. The next one is going to be right here on the position number 5. We can have a ton of fun with it and be articulate, or we can just be expressive. So if we know both of those positions, I know if I start here with do, re, mi, sol, la, sol, sol, la, sol, mi, re, and I don't need to resolve it to sol, la, sol, mi, re, do, re, mi, re, la, sol, do, re, mi, sol, re, do, and then we can start the whole thing up another octave. So each position offers different potential. And I don't want to force any of this stuff. I want all of these notes to be, I don't want to play, let's go find the note, gang. I don't want to play, let's find the note. I want to play, I know where the melody is taking me in my head. I want to, in real time, go out and find those little Easter eggs of notes everywhere I can. I want to gather them all up so that I can put them on my plate, and then when my plate is full, I can transfer those Easter eggs to the next weary traveler, or whatever they are, So here's that one more time, just the idea, simple idea, and let's start with hanging on to the soul. Having a certain, an ability to do that is very, very rewarding experience, and it doesn't matter how fast we are. It just matters that I remain observant of my current moment, because I'm the one in custody of that moment for the time being, right? And I'll do with it what I can, the best way I can, when I can. All right. Left ear, right ear. So let me just go through some of these if I missed. Hopefully this was helpful for some of you. And if it was, if you wouldn't mind smashing that like button. Kevin's getting ready to jump on and say sayonara for the day and happy Friday and wish us all a wonderful weekend. So I just want to get through. I see Clay Thanks for being here, Clay, Marco. I always learn the lyrics to help keep track of the progression. Bingo. I feel like this is heading towards Edgar Winter's riffs. Yeah, that's right. I was thinking Jeff Beck as well. Me too. Yes, and the two great blue wrench holders, the blue wrench bearers, show up for the sign off, and that's just a remarkable thing. It's I wanted to take just a brief minute to practice some gratitude for those two people here in particular, brothers Kevin Haas and brother Anthony Tortorello, for these two people who are just keeping the live chat light and lively and oriented in the right direction, you know, focusing on guitar. It's a guitar forward moment. And I think we all owe them, and all of us really here, for just being here, but them in particular at this moment for just being here, to thank them for keeping us on track and not getting diverted into little, you know, all of these little things that everyday people like to talk about. So thank you very much. Dang, I nearly missed you. Steve, hey, well, we are getting ready to jump for today, and I'm closing up with this. I'm going to close with this, and I appreciate you being here. I would love to stay all day, but your seat time is irreplaceable, and I'll be here again tomorrow, not tomorrow, but Monday morning. I'm here every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, talking shop and talking about guitar as a growth process, the very personal, like hyper-local growth process. And this is the morning ritual for guitar growth. I'm Jason here at Jason Carey Guitar, right here on YouTube. And I'll be here again every weekday morning at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Time for the entirety of 2025. We'll talk a little bit more later about why. Thank you so much for being here, and I hope you all have a super day. And it's filled with joy and picking and things that you love for the most part, and health and all of those things. But until we meet again, I wish you happy picking. All right. Here we go.